I have a seller interested in sub two, but they can't qualify for a new mortgage if they keep the existing one in place. Is there a workaround if the seller can prove they're no longer responsible for the payment? Well, that's going to depend on a couple of things. Number one is their debt to income ratios. If they can barely afford their new house payment, chances are that's going to factor in and it's not going to be possible. A lot of times, I actually discovered this before I was an investor when I owned a house and needed to sell it to move to a new location for a new job and wanted to buy a new house there. I actually had, I think it was Countrywide Loans at the time, explained to me that if you'll rent the house out, they'll give you a credit of 75% of that income towards your debt to income ratios. So, what we find a lot of times with sellers that have sold to us subject to is if you explain the process to their lender, you explain what's happened, you show that you're making the payments and that you're responsible for them, they will at least give them a 75% credit toward their debt to income ratios, the same that they would if the house was being rented out. Now, the question is, how do you get a full credit for that payment? And what we've discovered over time is that most of the time, the only way to get that is after you've made 12 on time payments and you can show that you've done that. And different lenders will require different documentation, a lot of canceled checks or some kind of statement showing the payment's been made. Some type of evidence when you bought the property and how long you've been making those payments. It'll vary too with the lenders. Some lenders are just more lenient. So if that's a concern for your seller, if they need to buy a new house, subject to may not work. Will a wrap facilitate this happening? I haven't discovered that to be the case. Again, it's just proving that you've actually bought this property and that you're responsible for making those payments. That's really what the lender's looking at. So, worst case scenario, they should get a 75% credit toward their debt to income. If everything works out well, then they'll get the full credit. But it's going to depend on the lender. It's going to depend on how strong the seller's credit is and what kind of income that they have. Hey guys, thanks for watching. While you're here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out these other great videos and podcast episodes.